morning, guys, and welcome to the vlog. It is Sunday, January 5th, and we are officially 15 weeks out from my competition. We're just doing a check-in here. I'm at 130.4 pounds. I think I was a little lighter this morning at 130.0, but we are losing weight. Here's a side-by-side. On the right is the footage from today's Physique update, and on the left is that original footage from last week. I tried to kind of do the same poses so that you could get a side-by-side view. I definitely think that I'm leaning out already. Even though there wasn't a big difference on the scale, I think my body is already starting to look leaner. Especially in my waist. So here is my first attempt at a posing routine. I worked on a few poses last night, probably for like an hour. And I have a little bit of a side pose, a little bit of a front pose. My transitions are still pretty shaky, and I'm not sure if I have my footing right. But, you know, better to start early than to start late. So I put in the work, and I'm really proud of myself for getting it done, and I'll just practice a little bit more every week until I have something really put together. I probably won't hire a posing coach until I get closer to the end. I did not show my back pose because as of right now, it is pretty much all fat back there. So you don't need to see that, but I will save the footage. I did not do a full day of eating today, but I am showing you my breakfast. This one is my egg whites with bell pepper as usual. And then I have my 100 calorie packet of grits on the side. I like to put garlic, salt, and pepper in them. And then this was my second breakfast. I had a 100 calorie bagel by Thomas, and then I had that kite chive cream cheese and 3 slices of turkey bacon. I went really low on my fats yesterday, so I'm kind of trying to make up for it with some funner foods today. And instead of an apple, I have 1 serving of peanut butter cup Halo Top. Good morning, guys, and welcome back to my kitchen. Today we are finally doing the meal prep video. I don't know about you, but I am sleepy and tired, and I don't feel like doing anything today. I just want to have a lazy Sunday, but I know that it's very likely that I am going to feel like that at some point this week, and when I do, I will not have to cook 6 meals a day because my food will already be made and I'll just have to take it out of the fridge and microwave it. So we're gonna make some delicious food that I will not regret eating throughout the week. The first step though is to get some Tupperware that is going to work for you. So I'm going to be bringing my meals with me to work. 2 to 3 of my meals throughout the day are going to be eaten at my work. So I personally like this brand of Tupperware, the take-alongs, because when they click shut, they really seal and they do not leak. And I can throw them in my purse if I forget my lunchbox, and I don't have to worry about them leaking bell pepper juice all over the inside of my purse. So I'm going to use these ones for my smaller meals, which is going to be like my second breakfast of the day. And then these ones are a pretty good deal. They come in a 10-pack for about $8, especially if you're reusing them for at least a couple weeks. Once they start getting really nasty, I'll just throw them in the recycling bin and buy some new ones. But I do try to use them at least 2 or 3 times. These ones are good because they're divided. I like that because sometimes by the end of the week, maybe my meat gets a little stinky and I don't want to eat it, but then the rest of my meal isn't ruined by that. So I can still eat the rest of the meal and maybe make some fresh meats. But usually my meats will stay good. I'm only going to make 4 of each meal because I do have kind of like a cheat day on Tuesdays where I'm going to eat different meals to plan for more carbs at night. But these will be for my regular days, which I have planned out and typed into my FitnessPal already. So I will show you that after all the meals are made. I'll show you what it looks like in my FitnessPal and how I'm tracking it. But this is for a 1,200 calorie a day diet. And I will be eating 6 times. 5 of them will be meals, and then 1 snack will just be my apple, because I'm usually in a rush on my 10-minute break and I don't have time to eat a whole meal anyway. So with that said, we're gonna get started. The first thing I always like to do is line up all my Tupperware on my table so that they're ready to go, and I can just start plopping the ingredients in as soon as they're ready. That way I can move really fast in the kitchen. So I'll show you how I do that first. I'm going to get started with my carbs first. The easiest, fastest one is going to be these mashed potato flakes. They're only 80 calories. It does say to add milk and butter. I'm not going to add the butter. I am going to use almond milk, and I am going to add other things to flavor it so that I don't need the butter. This will get done really quick, and then as soon as I'm done, I'm going to rinse out the pot and use this same pot to start my rice. And then while the rice is going, I'm going to do some other stuff. So, looks like we need to start by boiling, for 4 servings, 1 1/3 cups of water. So I have water right here in my water dispenser. And this is going to go really fast because this water is actually already hot. It's like practically boiling already. So I gotta get started on the next part. I need to have ready 2/3 of a cup of milk. You put that in after you take it off the heat. And I will need 1 1/3 cups of mashed potatoes. So here's my 1, here's my 1/3. I'm gonna season my water now, because I find that it tastes better if the garlic actually gets some time in the heat. I like my mashed potatoes to be salty. Quite salty. Okay, that should be enough salt. Now lots of garlic. I really love garlic. And then, of course, black pepper, but I like this. I like it to have like black pepper that you can see, so I like the freshly ground black pepper. And then I like to add some parsley because it gives it a nice little color. Not too much though, it'll taste bitter. And then that's it. It's gonna boil any second, but we're gonna go ahead and measure out the potatoes. One. This kitchen is gonna get messy, but it won't get too messy. And a 1/3. There we go. I'm gonna put this back, kind of clean up as I go. Alright, it's boiling, so for this recipe, you pull it off the heat as soon as it boils. You add in your 2/3 a cup of milk, and then the flakes. Since the water is already seasoned, I did that while it was boiling. It is now pretty much done. I'm going to stir it with a plastic spoon because that's just one less thing that I have to clean when I'm done. Since I'm going to be eating all of this myself, I might lick the spoon and reuse it for something else. It says to fluff it with a fork, but I don't like to do that because I don't like to use metal forks in my, well, any forks in my pots. Has enough liquid that I think when I reheat it, it won't get too like gummy and hard, but if it does, I can always add more water. So now we're going to go ahead and portion it into our Tupperware. Alright, so I'll probably make these 4 here, have my potatoes. And one reason I like to do the carbs first is because I know they're not going to get all nasty. Like, I don't want to do the meat first and then have it setting out for like half an hour while I'm finishing the rest of the food. So I'm not gonna actually weigh it. I know that I have 4 servings, and I'm just gonna make sure that they all look even. That first one might have a little too much, so I might have to go back and steal some from it. Maybe for this one, yeah. Alright. I'm gonna flatten them out and see if they all look about even. Also, they reheat more evenly when you have them kind of flattened out. So you don't get like dried out top on it. So I like to flatten them out. Alright, 1 carb down. Alright, we're moving right along to our next carbohydrate choice, which is going to be basmati. I like basmati because it will absorb a lot of water, which since I'm microwaving this stuff later, the more water it holds, the less it's going to get dried out and nasty when I microwave it. So I find that basmati is a really good one. So I just measured out half of a cup because a normal serving's a 1/4 of a cup, but I'm going to be doing half serving since I'm eating 6 meals a day basically. So this half of a cup is going to be all 4 servings. And then I need to add half of a cup, no, double that of water for basmati. So a whole cup of water for half of a cup of rice. But I'm probably going to do a 1.25 cups because it can take the extra water without getting mushy. I found that it can take a little bit extra water, and when it does have that extra water, then it doesn't dry out as easy. I'm just cooking for myself, so if it has some almond milk residue, I'm not gonna die. Again, that water was already hot, so it shouldn't take too long. While that's going, I'm gonna go ahead and start getting ready on my vegetables. That will go in next, and then I'll save the meats for last. This part's going to be super easy because I actually already portioned out these green beans when I bought them, and I didn't eat any of them yet. So I have 4 portions of green beans. Gonna throw those into the Tupperware. I'm not even going to cook them. I do like them cooked sometimes, but I find that by the end of the week they kind of get mushy. So I just let them do their thing and steam when I reheat the rest of the stuff in the microwave. I am going to throw some salt and pepper on top of them so that they're not completely flavorless when I go to eat them, but I like them kind of crunchy and snappy, so I don't mind if they're just steamed. The part that I do need to work on though is my bell peppers, so let me grab those. We're going to prep them on this. Isn't that cool? This cutting board just slides out and gives you more kitchen space. I got a red one and an orange one. You can rinse them if you want. I don't see any dirt on them, so I'm not going to rinse them. Usually good to use a serrated knife on bell pepper because when you get to the skin at the bottom, it can be kind of hard to... So I'm going to pull the middle out like this. Then I'm going to pull any little white pieces out, like the ribs. And then I'm going to pull this out. And then I like to give it, let's get these in the sink. I like to give it a little tap to get any seeds out. And then that one is ready to prep. Doing the same thing with the red one. Alright, that water's boiling, so I'm going to add the rice now. Where's that plastic spoon? I'm also going to go ahead and add my seasonings now. I'm going to reduce the heat to low now. I'm going to pull it off the burner for just a minute because these electric burners, the heat doesn't actually reduce that fast. You kind of have to wait for it to cool off, otherwise it'll boil over. So I'm just going to pull it off the heat for a minute while I add the rest of my seasonings. Garlic, because I love garlic. And then for rice, I like the really ground up pepper for the rice because I don't like to really see it. I like it to be evenly distributed. Back on the burner, and it's on low now, and I'm going to cover it. Assistant. Rice timer 18 minutes.
Rice timer 18 minutes, starting now.
I really like using that for cooking because you can actually tell her like 3 or 4 different timers and name them, and that really helps when you're cooking a lot of things at once, like for meal prep. So now I can kind of just forget about it while I work on other stuff, because she'll tell me when it's done. Alright, moving on, we're gonna do the bell pepper. I'm gonna start by cutting them in half. Then I'm just gonna cut it in strips. I find that 2 bell peppers is usually enough for 4 100-gram servings. But if one of them is a little less, I'll just type that in when I eat it. And then the top of it, I like to cut it into thirds so they're about the same length as the regular bell pepper strips. Okay. We should weigh it while we're at it. It's kind of a dirty scale. So this bell pepper with the top on it, yep, about 200 grams. So 2 bell peppers will be 400. That will be perfect. I try not to cut them too thin because I don't want them to get all mushy and soggy when they get into the microwave or when they're sitting in the fridge for a long time. So I go with pretty big ones. There we go. And take you back to the table and show you how I portion them out. I'm gonna put the bell peppers in these ones because they go with the rice and the chicken. A lot like the green beans, like the bell peppers will just steam in the microwave, so I don't really need to cook them. I like them fresh. I'm gonna put like about 4 in each one and then see how many I have left over. And so I'm starting with just the red actual strips. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. About 2 more. 5, 6. 5, 6. 5, 6. 5, 6. And I'll do the same thing with the orange. There we go. Okay, we're ready to add our meats and our rices for these 2 meals. I lied, I forgot to put the green beans in. I could probably just reuse these bags for some other vegetables since they didn't really get very dirty. Don't mind my cat's toy. This thing just like makes noises and rolls around by itself to get the cat to get more exercise. Alright, salt and pepper. I like this pink salt for topping stuff because it has lots of minerals. Now we're ready to start the meats. I got some extra virgin olive oil spray right here. It's 0 calories for 1/4 of a second spray, and it probably has some calories when you use a little bit more, but we're not going to use that much. The meat naturally has some fat in it, so it shouldn't stick too bad. So I pre-portion my meats out when I buy them so that they don't go bad and get wasted in the fridge. So these were in the freezer, and then I just pulled them out and set them on the wire rack in the fridge last night, and they're already all the way thawed. Sometimes if they've been thawing for like a day or more, I will rinse them off and then pat them dry. But today they haven't been thawing for that long. I'm going to set the pan to medium-high, and I'm actually going to let it preheat for a while first. That way they get a nice sizzle, and then while that's happening, I'm going to pat these dry. So this is boneless chuck roast. The one at Vaughn's is only 120 calories, and then I still trim like all the visible fat off of it. So the reason that I'm patting it dry is because that's going to allow the outside to crisp up and brown better. When it's wet, it'll kind of just boil the liquid, and then you'll have more of like a boiled steak taste, and that's not really great. Also, the less liquid in your meats when they're meal prepped, the less likely your meat is going to like go bad in the container. The more liquid in the container, the faster your meat's going to go south. And we want this to last until Friday, so. And I kind of just line them up like that. This side might cook faster, so in a little bit I will turn them so that the other side's on the inside so that they cook evenly. I don't want this meal prep to take forever, so while this steak is sizzling, I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next step. So these are the 4 that are going to be for my second breakfast. I'm basically going to put grits at the bottom of them, and then I'm going to put some little sausage patties with them, and then sprinkle it with a little chopped up bell pepper. So we're going to start, while the steak is cooking, we're going to go ahead and start with the grits. These ones are pre-portioned into 100 calorie packs, which I love. When you buy the regular grits, they are 140 calories per serving. So I just like that I don't have to get a measuring cup dirty every morning. I guess since I'm prepping these ones, I could have used the tub. I don't have one right now. It says to add half of a cup of boiling water, so that'll be 1 whole cup of boiling water for all 4 of these. And let me show you my cool water cooler, because you might want to get one of these. If you drink a lot of water and you like having hot water for tea, and you like having nice cold water to put in your water bottles, this thing is so cool. I just press this button, it takes 1 minute for the water to be boiling hot, and then you got ice cold water right here all the time. And a lot of times I drink room temperature water, so when this is not heating up, it's just room temperature water, which that's what I like, because I don't like to get cold too easy. So that will be done in a minute. In the meantime, let's check on our steak. It's looking pretty good. I like the bottom to get really brown before I flip them over, and I don't think that the bottom is really brown yet. Nope. While I'm waiting for that hot water, I'm going to go ahead and season the grits. I got these little things on Amazon. They're really cute because you can label them all on the front. And then you can set it to the sprinkler, or if it's something like a herb, you can set it to this setting here to let a lot of it come out. That's what I did with the parsley. And then I'm also going to go in with pepper and garlic. Check on that steak again.
Your rice timer is done. Your rice timer is done.
Assistant.
Stop.
God, it's nice and seared on that side. That's what we want it to look like. Now for the other side, I don't want it to really cook that fast, so I'm going to go ahead and turn the heat down a little bit to medium. Alright, my rice is done, she said. So I'm going to go portion that into my Tupperwares. Give it a nice little fluff. Oh, you sneaky bell pepper. That's about even. I gotta give it a taste test. 10 out of 10. This steak is just about done, so we're gonna season it before it gets too overcooked. That way I can kind of cook the seasonings into the outside. So we'll do salt. The reason I don't season it ahead of time is because the salt will like dry out the steak. So I kind of like to season it at the last minute. Also because I don't want the garlic to burn and get all bitter. I try to put the garlic just on the actual steak, because when it gets all over the pan, it will start burning and smoking. Smoke alarm starts going off. Okay, so seasoning on that side. Gonna flip it. Ooh, that side looks yummy. I'm gonna try not to move it around because I don't want all the seasoning to fall off the bottom. So, while that side's, well, I was gonna spray it so the seasoning will stick, but it already has a lot of natural fat in it, so it doesn't really need it. Okay, same thing. I like my steak very salty. I think it's on the edge of like being overcooked, so I'm gonna go ahead and turn off the burner while I finish it. And get the garlic on this side cooked a little bit. And I'm just gonna actually just take it off the burner now. You can tell if it's done by poking it. And it's firm when I poke it, so it's definitely done. So I don't want to overcook, so I'm gonna take it off. Actually, I think I'm even gonna set it on a plate so it stops cooking altogether. So that will cool a little bit. That way I can hold it and cut it with the scissors into pieces, and then we're gonna go ahead and finish these grits. Okay, there's my 2 cups of almost boiling water. Got my handy dandy spoon. That one needs a little more water. We'll let the grits thicken up. We need to start on our chicken. Alright guys, we got my pan rinsed and we're ready to start some chicken. So my chicken portions, same thing, I had them in the freezer. I just portioned out, I bought like a big family pack so that it's only $2 a pound. And then I portioned out the whole thing right when I bought it so that it wouldn't go bad. And these ones, I only get so many that are like perfect little fillets, and then the extra ones I cut them up into little pieces. So all this chicken is cut up into little pieces so that it sears all the way around each little piece. I'm gonna need more space, so I have a second pan now, and they're both non-stick pans. This is the one I just used for the steak. I just washed it real quick so that I have less stuff to clean up when I'm done today. So medium high again. And I might do a little bit more oil for the chicken just because it has like naturally no fat in it. And I want to make sure it gets nice and brown and delicious. While I'm waiting for that pan to reheat, I went ahead and washed all the dishes that I used so far so that there won't be so much of a mess to clean up. I think they're nice and hot now. So you really have to spread them out so that they're not touching each other. And it's kind of gross, but pretty much have to do it with your hands. There we go. They've cooled off enough now that I should be able to just grab them with my fingers, but if not, you can hold them with a fork while you cut them. And it has just a little teeny bit of pink in the middle, so I know I didn't overcook it. I don't want it to be all the way brown because I'm going to microwave these and then they'll be overcooked. I like how all this steak juice collected on the plate, because that means it's not going to be collecting in the Tupperware. Because if it were collecting in the Tupperware, then it would cause my meat to go bad faster. So, alright, see how the chicken is white around the edges and it's almost all the way white on the top even? That's when I know that it's ready to flip. Now you can use a spatula to flip it, or you can use a fork or a tongs. My favorite thing to use is the tongs, actually. This makes it really easy to just perfectly flip each one. Look at that nice golden color. That's perfect. Oops. This is like pretty much almost done when it gets that white on the top. So I'm going to go ahead and turn the burner off so I don't overcook it. I'm going to take some of the less done ones off the edge and move them to the center where it's hotter. Take some of these more done ones and move them to the edge. We're ready to portion out my beautiful chicken. It looks so yummy. I got ground chicken. It's 140 calories for a 4-ounce serving, but we're actually going to do 3-ounce servings because this is my second breakfast and I like those to be like the lighter meals of the day so that I can save some calories for dinner. 15.7, that's pretty close. So we are going to season this all up, and then we're gonna add, we're gonna cut it up into 16 little balls and flatten them and make little sausage patties. Here's what we're gonna use. We got salt, we got ground black pepper, obviously garlic and onion. Then we got some poultry seasoning. That's gonna really help it taste like sausage, and rosemary. And then this really brings it all together. The fennel seed, that's what makes it taste like breakfast sausage. So here we go. Alright guys, there we go. We got 16 little meatballs. We're going to flatten them and throw them in the pan. Before I flatten them, I'm going to give my hands one more rinse and spray of oil so that they don't stick to my hand when I go to flatten them. These first ones that I put on are all the way white around the edges and just a little bit of pink in the middle, so I think they're ready to flip. Oh yeah, nice and golden on the other side. Alright guys, finishing touches on breakfast. I got some chopped up bell peppers. I'm going to do about 25 grams sprinkled on top of the grits. And then for my sausage patties, let's give them a little taste test. That's yummy. I'm going to do 3 ounces in each one. So these are 1 ounce per patty. I always find that breakfast foods like egg whites, turkey bacon, does not do very well in the microwave. So this is a lean meat that actually does pretty well in the microwave for breakfast. And doesn't it look cute? Hold on, I'll show you when my hands are done. This one's for my cheat meal day. I'm going to have more protein in the morning. That way I can have some champagne at night on Tuesday, which is my date night. Isn't that cute? Okay, let's go ahead and grab my FitnessPal so I can show you the macros on these puppies. So the plan is to eat 1,200 calories a day and get a minimum of 100 grams of protein, with my main goal being about 130, since that's how much I weigh right now. I also want to eat 2 fresh meals a day. I want my first breakfast when I wake up in the morning to be egg whites, maybe some turkey bacon, something fresh, and then I have like the freedom to kind of change that up depending on how I feel. And then I want my last meal of the day to have at least 300 calories so that I don't go to bed hungry, because if you can't sleep, then you're not going to recover well. So I want to have 300 calories to play with to make something interesting at night, because eating the same foods every day can get boring even when they're this delicious. So I have everything tracked in my FitnessPal, including a breakfast, but leaving the 300 calories available for whatever dinner I come up with. I typed them in for tomorrow, which is Monday, for me. And I also went ahead and typed them in for Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, since I know I'm going to eat these on those days as well. And then the only day that I have different is my date night, which I'm going to try to eat more protein in the morning. So I'm probably going to make my food that morning to allow for some snacky foods at the movie theater that night. So let's see what they came out to look like. So here's the second breakfast with the lean ground chicken and the grits. And it is 205 calories Plus probably like 8 calories more for the bell pepper, but I think I logged that in my other breakfast instead. And then we have a snack of an apple, which I eat every single day when I'm at work. For the lunch, we have the chicken, the bell pepper, and basmati rice, half a serving. That meal comes out to $2.21. And then green beans, boneless chuck roast, and the mashed potatoes, and that one comes out to $230. So as you can see at the top, I have 305 calories left for dinner tonight. And then if we look at my macros, so this is without dinner being added, I'm already at 94 grams of protein. So with probably another 20 to 25 grams of protein at dinner, I will be at 120 grams of protein, which is very close to my goal and definitely above my minimum of 100. And then the fats look pretty good. They're at about 16%, and that's without dinner. So whatever I eat at dinner will add to that. And then the carbs look pretty good as well. They're at a little bit high. So usually my carbs will be a little high, my fats will be a little low, and then I can make up for that at dinner if I need to kind of even them out and have more fats at dinner, which is kind of what I like to do. I maybe have some avocado or guacamole at dinner, something delicious. And also I can play with the breakfast still and change it to like real eggs or add some chive and onion cream cheese spread. So that's my plan for the week. I hope you enjoyed this meal prep. If you did, please subscribe to my channel because I meal prep every week, even when I'm not dieting. I'm always meal prepping, so I'd love to show you a lot more recipes. These are just things that I've made before 100 times, but I have lots of great ideas.